Hi, I'm Sive. Today we're going to be making the Dub Siren add-on for our DIY synth kit. We're going to be following the manual, which is available on our website, and all the other resources too. So, let's get started. Okay, so we learnt about what components are in your synth kit in the How to Make Your DIY Synth Kit video. So I'm going to just go ahead and give you a little recap on the breadboard. On the breadboard there's two types of rails. We've got our rails running vertically and rails running horizontally. Our vertical rails are coloured red and blue. These are our positive and negative rails. We use these for power and attaching power to the horizontal lines on our breadboard. These horizontal lines are connected horizontally, obviously, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins, and are split down the middle. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows all the way up to 30. But that is split in two, so altogether we've got 60 rows on our breadboard. Okay, let's get started. The first thing is those power rails we talked about. We're going to connect our positive to positive and negative to negative. We're going to use our red and black wires here because it's just easier for us to keep track of what's happening if we colour all our positive rails red and negative black. The next thing we're going to put in is our most important component, and that is our IC chip. This is an integrated circuit, so it's a mini circuit inside of our larger circuit that we're creating today. We're going to place this in the middle of our circuit board, and for this tutorial I'm going to be placing it right about row 14 on the breadboard. The IC chip is numbered in an anti-clockwise way, so there's a small notch at the top on this side, and number 1 starts on our right hand side and goes 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way up to 7. We go over to 8 and all the way back up to 14. The next thing we're going to do, or the very first thing we're going to do, is add power to our IC chip. So we're going to take more red and black wires and add the positive wire going from pin 14 on our IC chip to the positive rail of the breadboard. We're going to connect our negative side of the power rail to pin 7 on the IC chip. In your kit you got 3 resistors, and we're going to use all 3 resistors in our Dub Siren. We've got our 1K resistor, which is brown, black, red and gold, our 10K resistor, which is brown, black, orange and gold, and our 4.7K resistor, which is yellow, violet, red and gold. We're going to take our 1K resistor, we're going to bend it against the table, which gives us a nice clean way of plugging straight into our breadboard, and we're going to run our 1K resistor from pin 1 of our IC chip to the power rail of our breadboard. Next we're going to take our 4.7K resistor and bend it again against the table. We're going to use the numbered rows here, and we're going to go from row 3 to row 9 with this resistor. And finally our 10K resistor, we're going to once again bend it against the table and run it from pin 13 to the positive rail. So if this is our pin 14, we're going to go back 1 to pin 13. There are a few connections we have to make between pins in the IC chip. So we're going to take our 2 small yellow wires and use them to connect them. The first one we're going to do is go from pin 8 to pin 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, over to 8 and up to 12. And the second one we're going to connect is pin 2 to pin 6. So 1, 2, all the way up to pin 6. We'll just be using one of our ceramic capacitors in this Dub Siren Synth, and it is going to go from pin 12 of the IC to the ground rail. So 14, 13, 12, and then to ground, which is the blue rail of our breadboard. To control our synth, we're going to be using our potentiometers, but we're going to set up our breadboard first to make sure it's ready for us to put them in. We're going to use our purple and 2 blue wires to do the first connection. The first one we're going to take is our purple wire, and it's going to run from pin 12 on our IC chip, 14, 13, 12, all the way up to the leg of our 4.7K resistor. And we're going to take our first blue wire and we're going to run it from pin 1 of the 556 timer to row number 5 on the breadboard. We're going to take our second blue wire and we're going to run it from pin 6 to row 28 of our breadboard. And finally, we're going to take our last red wire, which is quite long, and run it from pin 11, 14, 13, 12, 11, and all the way down to the opposite side of the breadboard and to row number 26 on the bottom. The last two wires we're going to add in are our grey wire and our brown wire. We're going to use our grey jumper wire to connect pin 2 to row 7 on the bottom of our IC chip. So 2 to 7. We're going to take our brown wire and use it to connect pin 13 to row 5. Now we can add in our two 470k A potentiometers. These are not the same as your 2K 2B potentiometer, so make sure you have a look on the side to see that you're using the right ones. We're going to match the legs on the potentiometers up to the wires that we've added for them on the breadboard. So the left leg of your potentiometer should be in line with the red wire, and the middle leg should be in line with the blue wire on your breadboard. And on the opposite side, from this angle, our right leg should be in line with the brown wire, and our middle leg should be in line with the other leg of our 4.7k resistor. Next, we need to add in our capacitors. There are two capacitors in your kit. We've got the 10 UF capacitor and the 100 UF capacitor. We'll be using both in this Dub Siren. So the first one we're going to connect is our 100 UF capacitor, which is the short one. These capacitors, you'll notice they have a long leg and a short leg. The long leg's the positive end of your capacitor, and the short leg is the negative end. So for the 100 UF capacitor, we're going to take the long leg and connect it to pin 6 of the IC, and the short leg is going to be, we're going to put it straight into the ground rail of our breadboard. Now we're going to take our 10 UF capacitor and place the long leg in pin 9, and the short leg is going to sit in the breadboard a few spaces down from the IC. We're going to add in our final potentiometer now. That's the 2K 2B potentiometer, and it's going to line up with the grey and blue wire that we added in earlier. So our right leg is going to line up with the grey wire, and our central leg is going to line up with the blue wire. Now we're going to take the button from our synth kit. It's going to sit across the two rails. We spoke earlier about how these weren't connected. So we want the right-hand side, top left side of our button to be in line with the short leg of our capacitor. This one can be a bit tricky to do with the red wire in the way. Now we finally get to the good bit where we get to add our speaker and our battery. The first thing we need to do is take our speaker and use the two legs. One of our legs is going to go from the opposite side of our button. So we've got the capacitor plugged in, stuck into the left top hand side of our button, and we're going to stick one of the legs of the speaker into the top right hand side of the button. The other side of the speaker is going to go right into the negative power rail, our blue power rail. And we're going to take our power cable and we're going to put red to red and black to black. So our positive rail and our negative rail. We can plug our 9-volt battery straight in. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it helpful. If you want to leave us comments down below, please do, and you can find more helpful resources on our website.